Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 62. The rain on the plain falls mainly on the chicken hut. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and just cleaned up dog poop. Nope, sorry, that was the last time. I actually cleaned up dog vomit this time. Just cleaning up dog vomit host Michael Corley. And with me today, who is not cleaning up dog vomit, is Lee. Lee, tell everyone who you are playing.
How do you know this, sir?
Good point.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lee. I am your unfriendly neighborhood Osakai, the shifter ranger from the Eldeen Reaches.
Indeed. Who had a little flashback with some people from those reaches, and it did not go well for them. It did not go well for them at all. And with us also today is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you are playing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Izzy, the non-cleaner of dog vomit, cleaner of lizard poop, Corley, and I will be playing today Morezi Mugra, the half-orc barbarian, cleaner of murdered corpses.
And cleaning out the turkey leg bin.
Yes.
And with us also is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you are playing.
Howdy, y'all. I am Dare, and I'm playing Tix Birchmanson, everybody's favorite diminutive cleric.
Everyone's favorite indeed, a fan favorite. And finally, last but absolutely not least, least of not which for his glittering skin, is James. James, tell everyone who you are playing.
Hello, everybody. I'm James. I'm playing Pentanchellus, a sorcerer, spell scale sorcerer, and, just doing my thing.
When we last left our adventurers, they had just had an epic battle on top of the good ship Pisswhistle, where they rescued their friends, allied, and perhaps lovers from a evil paladin by the name of Geggle Birchmerger, who did himself in because of a spell he cast himself, which was hilarious. We now cut a few days forward to a large crowd. The large crowd are all out to meet you, at least perhaps you think, because you are all getting ready to head out to the Penta Plains for adventure. And there's a crowd out to meet you, and there's a song. There's a song playing in the background.
Oh.
And what could this song be? But there is a bard by the name of Fugly, who is strumming a song that you can hear getting stronger and stronger, and it's about the chicken hut.
It staggers left, it stumbles right. You wonder if it'll attack.
And you can hear just a little bit of that going through the breeze, and people are singing it and sharing it, and it's the hit of the summer, as you might say. And I have to ask, is anyone singing along?
We will
Tix is definitely singing along with the Chicken Hut song.
I've heard the song, but I can't say that Morezi is definitely singing along, and she definitely doesn't sing very often.
and it shows, but there's a great deal. And up above, Aphil is squarking off to it. Aki is sort of bobbing her head slightly, and even Chop seems to be moving slightly rhythmically to that sound.
Now, are we bringing the chicken hut with us?
Well,
is it something we're able to do?
Well, it's yours, and this particular mission, the goal is that the 5 I'm going to say it wrong, Aarakocra?
You got it.
The 5 Aarakocra said that there was a ancient abandoned building where they believed you might be able to find more information about this broken staff. And it aligned with them because they too were searching for an ancient lost staff. And so they weren't going to exactly go with you, but they were kind of going to go adjacent to you. And you see them here now, Mire, Tide, Beast, Frost, and Gale, Mire being the leader. and they are seeing everyone off, and there's a little bit of cheering. There's a few other things going on. First of all, y'all have my understanding was if you could sell the werewolf hides and various hides, you were going to help pay for the damages to the good ship Pisswhistle. Was that correct?
Why not?
Sure. Anything to help out my lady love.
That was something that was mentioned, and Tix, there is a tearful farewell as Duncan is wishing you the best, and she is giving you her favor, which is a small dagger. And she is also gratefully accepting the 350 gold that you have gotten from a slightly mad wizard who needed them for spell components. By the way, if anyone wants a discount, he can get you a potion of polymorph.
I like the sound of that.
Yes, it is a mere, he's discounting it, 300 gold.
Oh, well.
That's a lot of it.
I've just got this image of this in my head of this wizard, right? Oi, Gav, what you need? I can get you anything.
Hey, hello. I got all you need here.
You need a polymorph potion? Yeah, I can get you one of those.
Well, we have now established that is exactly what he sounds like.
Excellent.
But he has given y'all 350 gold, which you have graciously turned over to Duncan to help with the repairs of the ship. Her fortunes are somewhat reduced as she has dissolved her partnership with Loft, who was a rich shipping magnate. But now she has more freedom on her own, and y'all have also being seen off by the crew of the good ship Pisswhistle, particularly Tun and Brumio, who are waving and holding each other's hand as they wave and say goodbye to you.
I take
Still a better love story than Twilight.
I take Duncan's hands in my hands and give her a big kiss, and also give her 75 gold pieces that I had, and tell her that I will see her again and that I will miss her.
She is very tearful and very thankful, and she says, just look for me, love, at this dock. If I'm alive, I'll eventually be coming back here, because this is where the money is.
I'll see you then.
And you turn around, Penton, and there, standing before you in her simple white robe, is a skull. And she is looking right at you, even though, of course, her eyes are blind. And she is smiling. And she says, leaving so soon?
Unless you want to come with us.
I would absolutely love to do so, but I have my shop here. I have my life here. I've done a little adventuring in my life, but I think that I'm happy as a jewel maker.
I understand.
I do have something I want to give you. And she holds out her hand, and she won't show what it is. She wants you to hold out your hand.
Okay, I do so.
And she drops it. It is the eye of a doll. If you recall, the gentleman who you dispatched, he actually attuned this doll's eye to her jewelry.
That's right.
And she said, you might be able to use this to find me again. And if you have the skill, you might even be able to send me messages from time to time.
Well, I know.
Kenton at 4 a.m. sends a message through the doll's eye.
Hey, girl, you up?
You up?
You up. We all thought the exact same thing. And actually, someone does come to see you off, Morezi.
Huh.
And it is actually Kiris.
Yes.
And Kiris, the young lad, he is now dressed in adventurer garb. But he is not coming to leave with you. He has told you that he has joined the retinue of Grand Duke Vigilfist. And that he's going to be going on all kinds of adventures with them. And
That you will, small man. Small boy man.
And he wishes you well, and then he actually turns to you, Osokai, and he says that he has a message for you. And he reaches into a few, he's sort of fumbling around in his backpack. He still hasn't gotten used to wearing a backpack, as all adventurers do. And he pulls out a small note, and he hands it to you, Osokai.
Interesting. Well, I guess Osukai reads the note.
All right. Did I remember correctly that you read Elven?
Yes.
Yes, I thought I remembered that from an earlier adventure. Yes, it is in Elven, and it is in very precise, chopped script. And it says, "There are things that I must do below. Keep my headgear safe, Zuana."
Ah, nice.
There is the implication there that this is not goodbye. But as of right now, she is Zuana has left the party, as they say.
Well, knowing Zuana, she'll be fine. She's survived
Yeah,
this long, and yeah, she's pretty good at what she does.
Gotcha.
You said headgear, and I could only picture the thing that you wear with braces. Keep my headgear safe.
Oh, that's amazing.
Sorry.
But it is time to go, and you realize now that some of the people were here to see you off, but mostly the crowd is gathering because the king himself, before he heads out in another direction off in his kingdom, he has actually come to wish you all off. And of course, the king is always going to draw a crowd. I should mention that Urtok, his advisor, of course in human form, his necklace quite visible in the bright light, is there with him.
Sorry, just before this happens, Osukai couldn't give two orcs patooties about any of this. He's going to go and find Jackson.
Okay, absolutely. She is actually on the ship, getting ready to set off.
Osukai approaches her, and he has a gift for her. It is two small ribbons braided together. One green and one black, and he hands it to Jackson and says, "Remember me."
Okay. And she says, "It'll be hard not to, because you're literally in my thoughts." And she says that with a smile that makes it unclear as to whether or not that's a good thing. but she does smile and waves to you as you go. And are y'all going to travel via Chicken Hut?
Oh, I hope so.
Absolutely.
I mean, why strain ourselves? We need to save our energy for the fight or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Osukai wants
go
to
ahead.
keep fit.
Okay.
And the Chicken Hut kind of unnerves him.
That's understandable. Also, you do note that while he will go in there at your call, that Chop does not like the Chicken Hut at all. And he avoids it whenever he can. So that there is that as well. But he will go in there if you bade him to, but he does not care for it.
We could maybe put a swing underneath it if you want to ride along underneath. You could be hut nuts.
Oh. Well, guys, we've got our first T-shirt.
All right.
Osukai under a Chicken Hut on a swing with the tagline "Hut Nuts trademark."
Hut nuts.
Yeah.
Do it.
You're welcome.
Do it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I am drawing
Jeez,
right now.
Get on Fiverr or Izzy's picture or something. Just get that done and print it up on a T-shirt because I will buy one.
Awesome.
We have our first merch.
There you go. And and now I'm tempted to go back and change the beginning just to call it Hut Nuts, but I'm not going to.
He'll do it in post.
Yes, there you go. We'll fix it in post. But you're heading off, boom, 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 the Chicken Hut, towards adventure, towards the Pinta Plains. And absolutely nothing happens at first. It's many, many miles as you pull away from Masgate, as you pull away from the outer reaches of Masgate, places like the mines and communities slowly becoming more and more sparse. There is one thing that does happen after about a day or so, and that is Penton. You begin to hear a voice in your head that says,
Oh, no.
"Hunger."
Oof.
What would y'all like to do about that?
We need to find some game to lay across the skull.
Like an elk or a deer or something,
Yeah.
I guess? Something.
No.
I wonder
That's what I was thinking.
I wonder if any of us is really good at hunting around here.
I will yell out the door at Osukai. And, Osukai, we need a little venison. Would you be able to help out with that?
We need a big one.
Going on a deer hunt?
I think Morezi'd like to offer to help Osakai hunt too.
Okay. Well, first of all, Osakai, are you willing to hunt for some game?
I mean, Osakai's already out hunting.
So that works. So Morezi, you decide to head out after him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to say that he was already heading out on his own, but you saw him, and you nimbly leap off the chicken hut. There is a very vague trail path road that y'all are following. It is so ancient that just every once in a while you come across like what clearly used to be a paving stone, but it might be 500 years ago that this used to be a paved road. This is a very old world in human terms, and there are many lost things in time. So, Osokai, you are out hunting for game. Would you give me a check for that with your appropriate skill? And also, Morezi, I would like you to give me a survival skill roll.
I haven't even gotten out my dice yet. Golly.
Knowledge nature?
Let's see. I've got a new dice tower, so this will be fun.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
That's a 15 on survival skills.
Okay.
That's a 22.
Okay. So both of you, from different angles, because Osokai had kind of headed out in front of you, Chop, of course, moving silently beside you, every once in a while snuffling and snorting, but being fairly quiet. You actually see a flock of elk. That is exactly what you were looking for, and with your roll, especially Osokai, and then also your 15, Morezi, y'all find the various scat and trail. So describe to me, how would you bring down one or more of these?
So we're just on some plains, right?
Mm-hmm. This is the very, very beginning of what is known as the Pinta Plains. It is massive. Imagine the American Midwest. Imagine like the plains where the buffalo used to walk. That is the Pinta Plains.
Imagine Saskatchewan.
There you go.
There you go.
Or imagine the outback, but not quite so dry.
With actual plants in it.
Yes, with a plant or two.
Well, deer are notoriously flighty.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have to get low into the grass, attempt to come at them upwind, don't want to be downwind, and find the ones at the outskirts that will meet the criteria that we have been given.
I would like you both to make a stealth roll for me.
Okay, so with the natural 20 and my 10 in hide, that's a 30.
Okay. And Morezi?
That's a... Oh, I also got a natural 20.
Oh my goodness gracious. So both of you, without meaning to, this is, right now you're in kind of tall grass. There's a very small stream nearby. And you are both just silent in this grass, moving between it. Morezi, you do also notice, this isn't like a skill bonus kind of thing, but you notice that your armor is a little quieter than it used to be. It doesn't clank quite as much as it used to. Noticed. But you both just move perfectly up, and there is an especially plump, big elk that has strayed from the rest. What would y'all like to do?
I'm going to take concentration check, both make sure that it's not going to jump away in time, make sure I can study the animal, find out the best way to approach it, so that when I make the attack, I will hopefully have advantage and be able to kill it quickly.
And then I would like you to roll to attack, because with that natural 20, you get a surprise attack, as do you, Morezi, if you so choose.
Okay, so...
yeah, I'll try to attack it with my bola.
Okay, that is actually very much what the bola is designed for.
Go for the legs, take it down.
Let's see, 17.
17. Okay. So you have had some issues with Ebola in the past, but this is what Ebola is made for, is bringing down game at a run. Though it is standing still, you boom and let it fly, and it immediately wraps up the hind legs of this elk, which shrieks and tries to run and immediately stumbles. Osokai, what would you like to do?
I'll take advantage of the stumble and just jab my claws directly into, well, its heart.
Am I supposed to roll for damage?
You don't need to for this. It was really just to hit it with it.
And hopefully just go straight for its heart.
Okay.
That's a 22.
22. So you said you went for the heart, and you literally just... boom! And there is a moment of surprise from its face, and then the light fades from its eyes, as you have been taught by your people that you kill swiftly and you do not kill with malice. You kill to eat and to survive, and it dies very, very quickly. And that's when I need both Penton and Tix. I need you to make a reflex saving throw.
Okay.
Huh. I've got a whole 9.
9, okay.
Mine's a modified 20.
Modified 20. So I have mentioned before several aspects of this hut, that it acts a little bit like a bag of holding, in that it is bigger on the inside, that its front will actually open slightly to accommodate a certain amount of size.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I believe I've mentioned briefly, is that when it's walking, you don't get the full effect of a chicken head walking, because you would be constantly vomiting from the nausea of this. You do feel like a very gentle motion, almost like being on a train when it's moving. However, if, just say, a much larger version of that bola was to wrap around the legs and cause it to fall face forward,
Oh, boy.
you would feel that. And so you both go a-tumbling down. And Dare, you actually take 3 points of smashing damage as you are flung from the ground to the ceiling, and you actually slam very hard into the wyvern jar. Fortunately, it does not break. And just wham right into that. So take note of that. And you both hear shouting from outside, and both Morezi and Osokai, y'all hear something going on several hundred yards from y'all. So I would like everybody to roll for initiative.
12.
12?
Or 14.
Oh, 14 for Morezi.
12 for Tix.
9 for Penton.
9 for Penton. And Osokai?
21.
21 for Osokai. So obviously you are quite far from what's the commotion that you are hearing. You do not know exactly what it is, but you know something big is going on over there. You do not know that what you heard was the sound of the chicken hut falling on its face, but clearly it was something not great. So what would you like to do?
Okay, how heavy is this stag we've just taken?
He is very heavy. You can absolutely carry him because you are a big boy, and you could even carry him faster with Morezi, who, as a barbarian, has an even better land run speed.
Yeah.
You know, this will slow you down if you carry it. It will somewhat slow your running speed.
Well, mine is 30. Izzy's is 40.
Yes.
Split the difference. We're looking at 30.
Well, what I would say is if you both carried it, it would be 30.
Yeah.
Because it would essentially, other than the fact that it's awkward, both of you being incredibly strong, can carry this. I mean, a full-grown elk is several hundred pounds. You know, it's a really big animal, and only the fact that you're both really, really strong is why you would be able to do that if you wish.
Well, I can lift overhead 300.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just shy of 300 pounds, so
it's just a heavy load.
It is.
So yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Cry out my style. I say we run for it. I mean, we're not going to get in there in time to join battle at least for a while. We might as well bring our kill with us. Who knows? If the chicken hut needs it, if we throw it at the chicken hut, who knows? It might do something. I don't know.
It's possible. Morezi, you are actually next in the initiative. Do you wish to do with him and pick up this carcass and run with him?
If I help him carry the carcass, will he move faster?
Essentially, yes.
Okay, then I will assist Osokai in carrying the carcass. My heavy load capacity is 230, so I feel like split between us, we can easily carry it.
Yes. Being able to lift a 300-pound creature is much different than being able to run with a 300-pound creature. So it makes a huge difference if both of you are carrying it. So you kind of hoy it over y'all's heads and just start boop, 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 heading that way. So that actually worked out nicely that y'all were both first on the initiative, so that don't have to worry about that. You hear from outside Tix and Penton as you are picking yourselves up. You hear... throw down your weapons and come out and you will not be harmed.
Is that a familiar voice?
You do not recognize it. I won't even make you roll. You do not recognize it.
I draw my sword and cast Sanctuary and go outside to confront whoever is out there. Tix draws his sword and goes outside and is a little miffed at the moment.
Oh, yeah,
So,
understandably.
Goes out with sword drawn and Sanctuary cast.
Okay, and the sanctuary surrounds you as you walk outside. And by the way, during the battle on the ship, you had heard almost nothing from your sword, but you've, as I said, it will take time to attune to this weapon, that it does speak to you, and it says, "Let justice be done."
That's my thought, too. Destiny Seeker, that is my thought, too.
You can tell, by the way, that you don't, or as far as you know, it cannot read your thoughts, but you can think at it, and it can hear you whenever you wish. So you think that to it as you walk outside. So I want y'all all to imagine the medieval fair. Imagine 4 people who were dressed as people who are trying to be cool at the medieval fair.
Oh, dear.
But aren't.
So like weird bracers and anachronistic corsets and like odd earrings.
Everything you just said. And garish colors and wildly inappropriate weapons that are just bristling, and they are surrounding you. There is one at the front and literally one at each point around. Behind them, you actually do see a very simple, weird-looking catapult, which is, by the way, bizarre to see out in the middle of the plains. It's a minor siege weapon, but it's clearly what fired with this thing that essentially is a bolo that wrapped up the chicken legs.
Guys, the LARP was last week. Come on.
Exactly. And as you walk outside, Tix, you are greeted by them, and he says, "I said throw down your weapon!"
I am about to throw this weapon down your gullet if you don't stand down and back off.
Okay, make a intimidation check.
Ooh, I like intimidation checks. And that is a 20. Modified 20.
A modified 20. He takes a step back. He doesn't lower his weapon. He has a pike, which is kind of like a halberd, but it is much too long for him. He's about 5 foot tall, which is not, there's nothing wrong with being 5 foot tall, but this pike is clearly made for a much larger man. And he takes a step back as you go forward. Penton, what would you like to do?
I'll step out and see the situation and see the little man threatening the other little man, and not that I'm much bigger. Just say, listen, friends, we are but simple folk trying to travel. I'm not sure where you came from, but we mean you no harm or threat, and maybe use a little diplomacy on this.
Okay, give me a diplomacy roll.
Let's see. Would you consider them unfriendly or hostile?
I would consider them hostile.
All right. Well, a 25, which I rolled, will bring them to indifferent.
Okay.
Or thereabouts.
I'm going to pause their reaction on that for a moment, because Osokai and Morezi come bursting through the grass, carrying a huge dead elk, dripping with blood as they are running forward. Osokai, you come and you see the chicken hut face down. You see both of your companions standing out, and you see 4 garishly clad individuals, one of which with a pike pointed at the two in front. What would you like to do?
Hit the little one first.
It's called the Ticks rule.
Exactly. He gets a +2 to creatures bigger than him anyway. It's fine.
+4 against giants, not a +2,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
Well, we don't know what just transpired here. So, I mean, my first reaction would be to toss the elk into the chicken hut, because it's my kill, damn it. It's going in the hut.
The chicken hut was face down. It kind of turned a little bit to its side. Its legs are tied up, so it can't stand up.
Yeah.
It also, like, y'all can read the body language of the chicken hut a little bit. And it is obviously quite upset, but it turned to the side, and that's how both of them were able to come out from the thing. So that's entirely up to you. You would, if you just threw it in there, you would need to like make an aimed throw to actually hit the skull. But you certainly could if you so chose.
Gonna give it a shot, because I mean, it's my kill.
So why not?
Why not? Exactly. Might as well.
This is your game. This is your game. This is your rodeo. You roll the dice.
All right, so I'll just go for. Actually, I'll turn to Morezi and say, do an aimed toss into the hut, because with her assistance it'll be easier.
All right, let's do this. Can I do something to like give him? Can I give him like a roll to give him advantage or a plus something?
Osokai, roll to do just a base attack with your dexterity bonus, and then also Morezi roll, and if you roll over a certain amount, then you will give him a +2.
Any modifiers? Just a straight roll?
Dexterity. Dex roll.
Alright, so with my dex...
That's an 8.
Oof.
That's an 18.
18? So an 18 does succeed. It's more that you decided on this action as you came running in, and Morezi was like thinking more about hitting people with halberds, and so she wasn't quite as up with it. So she was a little distracted, and so didn't quite get to help you. But you came forward and just whoop, and you did need to roll high to do this. But as you've seen, the hut's door opens a little bit, and it slams into that skull, which should damage it. But instead, there's like a as the something seems to stick into the elk, and then you see the elk slowly begin to desiccate as the blood is drained from its body.
This is a nice item that we have here, this hut.
And as it does so, by the way, let me make a little quick roll here. Oh, that's a 1. So the hut mightily strains against its bounds, but it cannot free itself. But it is just flailing about, and all three from behind the side step back a little bit. And at this point, Morezi, that was your action to help him, by the way. At this point, the one at the front, because he is now technically indifferent to you, Penton, he is not going to attack y'all. The other 3 are going to attempt to attack you. One is going to attack. Wow.
3 are going to fail at attacking somebody.
Well, the thing is the 2 from the side were both trying to flank Ticks. But as you know, he has Sanctuary on. And the one from behind was going to try to backstab Penton. They both rolled very, very hitting attacks, which doesn't mean anything because he has Sanctuary. And the one trying to backstab rolled a 10. So, Penton, you perhaps Aphil squarks at you as this one is coming up from behind. And you just kind of step aside a little bit, and the dagger actually whoosh, slashes past you. And that will actually bring it to you, Penton.
All right, then. Well, that's distressing. Going to try and kind of like send calming thoughts to the hut to just like, not hurt itself or damage itself, because we've got things under control out here. So that doesn't go crazy. I'm going to just take a defensive stance against this person to try to attack me. I'm not going to attack it because I'm going to try, calm the situation down before I start swinging. So I'll maybe say, whoa, hey, buddy, we're trying to talk here. There's no reason to, start throwing daggers around. Throw out I don't even know if diplomacy would work against somebody who's attacking me. Just basically try and placate them. Get them to calm down.
You can try diplomacy when you're in combat. It just depends on the circumstances.
True.
So
let's see.
It's up to you.
I'm going to give it a shot. And that's a 20.
A natural 20. So the one behind you is somewhat taken aback because he just tried to attack you, and you seemingly saw his attack because he didn't realize the connection between the squarking and the air from Aphil.
Right.
And so he is taken aback and is hesitating whether or not to keep attacking. Osokai, it's bringing it up to your turn, but something else is happening now. There is a rumbling happening. And here's the thing, there are two different rumbles. There is the rumble that is coming from deep in the ground. And then there is also a rumbling coming from behind you, Osokai and Marezi, as a herd of elk come flying towards you. Durum, 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 durum. And
don't like that much.
I don't need anyone to make a saving throw from the elk because they are very swift-footed and go around you, but they're all just boom, going right past you. However, as the ground splits open from below you, something comes hurtling up from the earth. Something huge and long and purple.
Definitely what she said.
Purple. Yeah, you're just gonna roll into it now. And I would like. Actually, I don't want everyone to make a reflex saving throw. What I want you to know is a few things. Is what has just come hurtling up from the ground and broken through the surface of the earth and gone a good 20 feet up into the air is a giant purple worm.
That's a worm.
Yeah. Anyone who knows anything about dungeoneering and such knows that these are no bueno.
Nasty boys.
But it's not that it's attacking you right now. It's something else, is that as it waves back and forth, you can tell it's going to come crashing down in your general vicinity. And that general vicinity is going to include the chicken hut. So if you all don't do something now, the chicken hut is going to be crushed. So I would like everyone in order, Osokai, Marezi, Tix, and Penton, to describe to me what you would do to stop the chicken hut from being crushed. If, of course, you so choose to do so. Starting with you, Osokai, who's first in the initiative order.
Okay, so what is this giant bowler wrapped around its legs currently made of?
It is rope.
So a good slash will cut it.
Yes, absolutely. It would take a good slash because it is thick rope. You can actually see where it's weighted on both ends so that it would tangle as it flew.
Well, Ozukai would most likely, try to free the legs, which would be cutting the bowler rope. And yeah, it would just be an attack roll.
Okay. Then just give me a straight roll. What are you attacking it with, by the way?
Claws. I have shield.
So going with your claws to slash through this, give me that roll.
All right. That is a modified 18.
That would definitely do it. So the first thing that y'all see is the unshifted Osokai shifts. And, would you still be shifted from before? Or
yes,
is this
still
a
be
new
shifted
shift?
from before.
Okay. Yeah, I would think so. Because this all happened in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And you just lunge forward in that bear-like motion and just and both of your fists come up in that claw, configuration, and the rope just cuts through. And that will actually bring it to you, Marezi. You see all of this happening all at once, and the shadow of this giant purple worm is coming towards you. And you realize if you don't do anything, the chicken hut will be crushed.
Do I have the physical strength to affect the...
to lift
Well,
the hut back to its feet?
Yeah. Like,
you wouldn't be quite sure because the hut does not obey normal laws of weight, since all of you are able to ride in it without a problem. So there is some element of this hut that is like a bag of holding, though not completely. But I will say that you did see several human beings carrying away this hut when y'all were at the docks one time, when the
Right.
merchant
and I'm
from the
beefy.
docks. And you are very
So-
beefy, so it is within the realm of possibility.
And you aren't trying to lift it above your head. You just, I would assume, you're just trying to give it a hand up so it can stand on its own 2 feet, which would be easier.
Yeah, actually, do you think that I can try pushing it out of the way?
Yeah, you can try. You can try both. Either thing. You can try to literally roll it, like you're talking about, like you would a log, or you can try to lift it up into the, push it up into the air so it can stand on its own and move.
I'll push it up. Is there a roll for that?
That is a strength check. So just a straight roll plus your strength.
Nice. Oh, that's a 6.
So you are pushing it up, and so what I will say is that you are pushing it up, even with a 6. You are pushing it up. However, you are now in the strike zone.
I'm
with
in the
6.
worm zone.
In the worm zone.
Well, so is Osakai,
So is Osokai, very true. So before we get to Ticks, it is actually the brigands' turn. As you can imagine, they are not helping. Some of them are frozen, and some of them are scattering, half and half. The two, basically the one in the front and the one in the back, are both scattering, and the other two are standing dumbfounded. That brings it to Ticks. Ticks, what would you like to do?
Tix will move and interpose himself between the giant purple worm and the chicken hut, trusting that the sanctuary spell will deflect or push away.
An entire purple worm?
One would hope.
The body weight of a purple worm.
One can hope.
Well, what I will say, Tix, is that you do not know for certain if this will work. And so
They only weigh
what
about 20 tons, so.
Yeah, I believe one little thing I saw said that they weighed 40,000 pounds.
Yeah, 20 tons.
That's
Yeah.
quite a
Yeah.
bit bigger than.
Yeah. So what I'm telling you is it absolutely might work. It's Sanctuary. It's a very specific spell. The whole point is you don't take damage. However, there are limits.
Yes.
So I'm letting you know that Tix knows that.
Yeah. But I'm going to get as close to the chicken hut as possible. Start praying hard to Garl Glitter Gold.
Okay. Give me a divinity check.
That is a modified. Would divinity check be off of wisdom?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a modified 20.
Wow. So you actually make a direct line connection with Garl Glittergold, and you all see this. It's always like a very faint shimmering, but especially during the day, it's kind of hard to see. But at the moment, it just boom and extends outwards as this purple worm is descending. Penton, what would you like to do?
I'm going to both, since Morezi is having a hard time getting anything done, getting it up, probably because it's just an awkward angle or what have you. I'm going to both kind of like mentally command the hut to kind of like whip its legs around to like get it like into a spinning, rolling motion, and help push the assist to get it rolling out of the way.
Okay.
With my feeble little strength.
I have said in the past that when you are right next to the hut, you can do physical attacks as well as command the hut. So I will allow this. So one, you need to make an Arcana check.
Right.
And then the other one is you need to make a Strength check.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, okay, so that's a 21 for my Arcana check. So that's good. Now let's see what I can do with my strength roll. That is a natural 20, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, nice.
Oh, beautiful.
The feeble little sorcerer just rolled a 20 in a strength check.
The little sorcerer
Nice,
that
we
could.
That could.
And
I think I cast.
So it's really a combination of both. Is that you are able to connect with the hut, and you for a moment you actually see that kind of radar sense that you would sense when you actually touch the skull, which you have been reluctant to do so before recently.
Right.
But you actually see it, and you can feel its confusion as it's trying to right its legs, and you kind of guide it a little bit, and the legs go boom, boom, and they kind of come up, and you actually push just as hard as you can, and it's just that one little extra bit that helps Morezi. She was, like you said, she was at an awkward angle, and between the two of you, whoom, the hut goes fully upwards and starts to move away, but it is still not fully out of the way, and that is when the purple worm slams into the divine sanctuary. You all can't hear anything. The sound that it makes is utterly deafening. You are all deafened like a grenade went off right next to you. I would like every single person to make a reflex saving throw.
All right.
My
I better
favorite.
start rolling my new character.
I love having reflex as a favorite.
I shouldn't have jinxed myself. That's a natural one, folks.
Natural 1, okay.
Tick's got a 12.
12.
I
I'm
just
thinking I'll play a rogue next time.
rolled another 20.
Another 20, okay.
That's a modified 20.
Modified 20, okay. So you, Morezi, is that you are trying so hard to push this thing up that you just couldn't get out of the way in time. And so it slams downwards. And by the way, I had everyone roll, but Tix, you actually didn't need to roll.
True.
Because the spell dissipates, but not before there is just the imperceptible yoop over to the side as the purple worm falls slightly to the right of where it would have. But the spell is utterly dissipated, and you feel just spent. Like you feel like you've just run a marathon.
Oh, I need a vacation.
But the power of the sanctuary did the trick. It actually moved it just enough. And Morezi, that's actually fortunate compared to what it could have been. You take 5 points of damage just from compared to what it. I don't want to tell you all the damage if you had taken a direct hit.
Oh,
from
bad.
A falling
Very
purple
bad.
worm. Yes, it's a lot of
100,000?
D10s. Yeah,
It's
a
a
lot
lot.
of D10s.
It's a lot.
But this purple worm slams into the ground next to y'all. By the way, all of the brigands managed to get out of the way, more because of fear and luck than anything, not because of any skill. There is a moment of just deafening silence, and as you'll all hear just the ooh, and your hearing slowly comes back. And as it comes back, the lead brigand says to the others, "They can summon a purple worm! Let's get out of here!" And they turn and start running. Is anyone going to stop them?
Nope.
They are outie 5, and they take off running into the woods. They want no more part of this.
Ooh, free siege engine. Wheel it
so
into the hut.
What would y'all like to do now?
Well, what's up with this purple worm? Is it still active?
That is a really good question. What would you like to do?
Get away from it. I mean, is it moving?
It is not moving.
Osukai
Interesting.
has a flash of Zuana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
Is she responsible for any of this? She did say she was going down below to take care of something.
It's
Given what she's known to get into, this could very well be her problem.
It's funny that you say that, because out of the giant craggy hole that this purple worm came out of, there's probably, I said 20, so roughly 20, somewhere between 20 and 30 feet of worm that is extending out onto the ground. Comes almost casually out a young wood elf, and she says, "Hi guys, have I got a story for you?" And that's where we'll end! Chafing Armor, episode 62. Thank you for playing, everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I survived. I'm surprised.
And if everybody would like to now, if you could imagine that every single player and dungeon master is now doing the worm. and just doing the worm so hard.
How do you know I'm not?
Please imagine that.
Exactly.
I'm imagining it too.
Exactly. Just like with the dog puke from the early. How do you know that you're not?
Exactly.
So thank you all for tuning in to Hut Nuts.
Yes.
And we
I'm so
also
proud.
we also but more importantly, we all want to take a big moment and give a huge thanks to Fugly, the real life bard who created the Chicken Hut song that you heard at the beginning. At the end, right after I'm done talking, you'll be able to hear the full Chicken Hut song, and you'll also be able to hear that on our page, and you can also find links there to find out more songs from Fugly. So let's all say, thanks, Fugly!
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Fugly.
Fugly. That's awesome.
You are awesome. If anyone else wants to do fan art or create a song for us, you are welcome to send that to us. The best way to do that is my direct email, Mr. Corley, MrCorley @gmail.com. But good night, everybody,
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Enough.
Mr. Dungeon Master.
and we will roll with you soon.
Good even and well met. Welcome to Grundle's place. I can see that we've shanghaied a good crew tonight. And it looks like it will stay good as long as we can keep Amos's feet out of the ale barrel. Yes, this is the place in Massgate where you can get all of the news that the heralds won't cry. And our top story tonight is some fantastical creature, or perhaps it's a mode of magical transportation. We can't tell, but it's been lumbering through the streets of Massgate for some time now. You may have even seen it yourself. It appears to be the posterity of the latrine out back and something from Purdy's Poultry Palace. We just call it the Chicken Shack. Well, it comes a lumbering down the street. You better get out of its way. Well, don't you know that if you don't, there'll be all 9 hells to pay. It staggers left, it stumbles right. You wonder if it'll attack. Well, you best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. One day it showed up at the docks as if out of the blue. And ever since it's come and gone without so much as a how'd you do. It staggers left, it stumbles right. You wonder if it'll attack. Well, you best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. Well, Wendell Jones left Grundle's place to see a man about a griffin. They found him wide-eyed, drooling mad, gibbering about some chicken. It staggers left, it stumbles right. You wonder if it'll attack. Well, you best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. Well, Ellen Smith was hanging clothes high above the street. When she pulled them all back inside, they were printed with dirty chicken feet. It staggers left, it stumbles right. You wonder if it'll attack. Well, you best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. Drum solo! You'll never know when your number's up and it's headed right for you. But if it does, throw your fingers up and shout a hearty, "Pluck you too!" It staggers left, it stumbles right. You wonder if it'll attack. Well, you best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack. Yes, you best to turn and run for cover when you see that chicken shack.